Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 delivers an action-packed, intense thriller that keeps you on the edge of your seat. As the 7th installment in the franchise, it's a solid entry and a rare feat in the movie world where the series keeps getting better and better. Tom Cruise once again impresses as Ethan Hunt, embroiled in a battle against nefarious forces, bent on controlling the future with a super intelligent AI called the Entity. That name is a bit too generic for my liking, but that's what they went with, so it's called the Entity. The plot gets a bit convoluted at times, but the non-stop adventure and action make up for it. The 2-hour and 40-minute runtime manages to keep you engaged throughout. The movie's music is excellent, complementing the scenes perfectly and heightening the adrenaline. Of course, the main attraction is the jaw-dropping action, showcasing Cruise's dedication to doing his own stunts and Christopher McQuarrie's skill at directing them. The film pays homage to previous installments, bringing back familiar characters and locations. A bit of a tip, you may want to go back and rewatch the first Mission Impossible. I don't remember the first Mission Impossible, so I kind of wish I would have rewatched that before I saw this. The cast delivers solid performances, with Cruise, Ving Rhames, and Simon Pegg shining in their roles. Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg, once again, are wonderful. They are the heart of these movies. Seems like every Mission Impossible movie, their scenes are just delightful. They're like the wonderful core of these movies. Very, very entertaining, and I just really, really love their characters. Rebecca Ferguson returns as Ilsa Faust. She again remains a standout with her natural charisma, and she's such a badass. Love her character. However, the new addition of Haley Atwell's character, Grace, didn't resonate as strongly with me, partly due to some annoying decision making. So again, I'll get to a lot of this in spoilers. Isaiah Morales as Gabriel makes for an interesting villain, although he is underdeveloped. Vanessa Kirby as the White Widow is once again mesmerizing. I really am just transfixed whenever she is on screen. She is entertaining and interesting. Tom Clementine as Paris is a great addition to the movie, a really fun side character that really only got more and more interesting as the movie went on. So that was a nice little surprise. Henry Czerny shines as Kittredge, bringing an impressive sense of authority and presence to every scene he's in. His commanding performance added an extra layer of enjoyment to the movie, and I found myself thoroughly engrossed whenever he graced the screen. There are some goofiness and odd editing moments that stand out, but overall the action and stunts are fantastic. There's a car chase scene halfway through the movie that is intense and surprisingly funny. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a satisfying action film worthy of the franchise. It has good direction, great music, and solid acting. Though there is a lot of weak dialogue, the screenplay is a little weak in my opinion, and there are some baffling story choices that hold it back that I will go more into detail in spoilers. While some jokes land better than others, and certain emotional beats feel forced, the movie is still thrilling and entertaining. I would give it a 7.2 out of 10. So in conclusion, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 keeps the franchise's excitement alive, and I am eagerly anticipating the final installment. All right, so wanted to talk some spoilers. So I gave this movie a 7.2 out of 10. I did really like it, but there were some things in it that unfortunately really did take away. Towards the beginning of the movie, there's a government scene. They're explaining the entity to the CIA director. Each character was filling in for the next one after the other. It was really bizarre, really, really unnatural. I didn't understand that at all. Honestly, I think it was one of the worst, if not the single worst scene in the whole movie, like that specific scene. The latter part of the scene is really cool when, Tom Cruise has the mask on. Of course, we don't know at this point, and he takes the gas and he throws it. That part was awesome, so that was cool. But right before that, that dialogue and that whole scene was very, very bad. The next thing is Grace. I didn't like Grace's character as much. It was kind of annoying to me because she wasn't listening to Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise's character. she wasn't listening, and I understand that's the way it was written, but it just kind of annoyed me more than anything as the movie went on and on and on, and she just kept running away from him, running away from him, running away from him, and she wouldn't listen to him. And it honestly, by the end, it was very annoying. I just found her, I think the movie wants us to like Grace. They want us to really like her and root for her. And the actress was fine. I don't think the actress did a bad job by any means. So Ilsa Faust is amazing. She's a badass. She has so much charisma. She's really an interesting character. I really, really liked her development through these Mission Impossible movies, and we really see how her relationship with Ethan Hunt has grown. So I really like what they've done with her character. So for me, honestly, that really bumped this movie down quite a lot was one of the big climaxes of the film is when she fights Gabriel on the bridge. And I knew right away where it's going. And they fight, of course, and then she ends up getting stabbed. And I just don't like the way it was executed. I think that they wanted to be dramatic and emotional, and I just didn't feel that. I didn't really feel the emotion and for such an important character. For that to happen, I feel like it has to be more dramatic. You have to really feel it. You want to really feel that emotion. It wasn't that I just didn't like it, just the execution I think was not great. I think it was poor. Another point to make is I think Tom Cruise is a good actor for what he is. I think he's great. I think he's a very entertaining actor. He's good in his lanes. You know, he knows what he's good at. One thing that I haven't really seen from him too much is his emotional acting, and I mean just like emotional in the sense of like crying and just like that deep swell of that type of emotion, that's sorrowful. I didn't really see that here from him. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him to do that, but just I didn't see that. At most, we see him, he's disappointed. You know, when he sees her, he's obviously like, he has that shocked look, and he gets down and on his knees to her. And then we see him like bowing his head on a balcony, I think. And that's pretty much it. So I don't think the writing was good and the execution was bad. So I would have never even made the decision. I don't think the decision to kill her off was a good decision. And also I guess they're trying to replace her with Grace sort of as the love interest. And to me, that's I don't think that works. I don't think it works for the last movie. Now we'll see, maybe in the next movie, they'll do a good job correcting that or making it work. But at least from what I saw here, it just didn't fit. It didn't work for me. So I just want to make two more quick points. Stunt at the end of the movie was great, where, you know, Cruise is going up the mountain and he takes the parachute and all that. That was wonderful. I mean, as always, you know, his stunts are just incredible, amazing to watch. My biggest complaint with that is that it wasn't long enough. I wish we saw more of it. I think that scene somehow, I wish it could have been drawn out more. Now, I understand the practical reasons. Perhaps it limited them of doing that because it is a real stunt. So perhaps they only had certain shots they could use. Perhaps they only had certain ways they could shoot it or edit it. I'm not sure. But I do wish there was a way that they could have given us more of that scene, that stretched that scene out more, because it was a great scene. It was a great scene. The whole train sequence was great, though. That was definitely one of the highlights of the film. Unfortunately, this is my last point, one of the big weakest parts of the movie was the CIA director. The dialogue for the CIA director, I thought throughout the movie, was very cartoonish, and especially at the end with Gabriel when they're in the train. That's one of my biggest complaints of the movie, is it gets a little goofy. Like, you know, there's one scene where the character's pointing the gun at Grace, and they need the key from Grace, and he's pointing the gun at her, and he's saying he's going to kill her if she doesn't give the key. Well, he could just shoot and kill her and take the key from her right there. And then he tells the other guy, and I understand that movies do this, but I'm just saying, like, and then he tells the other guy, okay, go kill her, but he has the gun on her. So if he wants to kill her, he could just shoot and kill her. Why is he telling the guy? And I get it's for the movie reasons, like the movie trope, but I just hate movie trope stuff like that. I feel like there's smarter ways to execute those types of scenes. You know, back to the CIA director and Gabriel, did not like that. The CIA director is very like, we want to use the key with the military industrial complex and have a ally with us, and we'll be the most powerful. And way too on the nose. I thought that scene was way too on the nose. I think there's a better way to write it, you know, but I enjoyed the movie overall. I mean, these are just some criticisms and, you know, spoilers that I wanted to kind of talk about. One thing I do want to end with is I hope maybe there's a chance Ilsa is still alive. I doubt it, but maybe. Give some reasons for why my score did come down. Overall, I would still recommend it. I think it was a solid movie. Wasn't quite as good as maybe some other ones, but I enjoyed it overall. That's it. So I appreciate you listening, and you take care.